I get asked a fair bit to do more DayZ SCUM comparison videos, and looking at how your first few hours in each of these pans out can tell you a lot. Now when I did this, I hadn't played either game for nearly a year, so I was pretty noobish, but for the purposes of this video, that was a good thing. And at the end of all this, I'll give you a quick few overall comments, but in the meantime, let's start with the granddaddy of zombie survival games, DayZ. Like all fresh spawns, I started on the beach with little on me, so I began searching buildings, and I actually had an early win with finding a can opener, because in DayZ a can opener will literally save your life. It didn't take long to come across my first zombies, so I did what anyone would and ran away. Nearby there were some rail carriages. I searched these but could find nothing of any use. Then I came across this abandoned church and cemetery with wandering zombie priests. That's pretty cool. And after that, well, I headed into a nearby city, searching for better goods, better loot. And I came across this fire station. And I knew I needed an axe, and this was a good place to find one. Inside I found no axe, but I did find these firefighter pants, which were a significant improvement on my suit pants, so I swapped everything out, and then this happened. Hey man.
Hey.
Hey.
Whoa.
I got nothing.
What's
Sorry,
that?
mate. I got nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing either. I just started.
But then we were interrupted. You got company. So I ran, and then I fought, and I fought some more. Hey mate, have you got a bandage?
Nah, sorry man, I've already used mine.
After getting no help from my fellow traveller and being almost dead, to be honest, I'm going to go down fighting though. So death meant another respawn and more searching, but I found a woolly hat. And outside in a shed close by, I found myself a pipe wrench. Again, I went into a nearby city. Went around a corner and I saw this amazing old Ferris wheel. I found myself a backpack, and that looked like a police station. That would be worth a look. Down here in this workshop, I came across this bomber jacket. Not only did it have more slots, but it was nice and cozy and warm. This would be useful. On my way to the police station, I had to hide because there was just too many zombies around. So I ended up sneaking, but my sneaking was clearly not good enough because a local policeman came to say hello. And then snuck some more. Inside, I searched more.
I don't even know what that means.
There was a lot of searching going on.
Nice.
And then I found the scorpion, and would you believe it, I actually had some rounds for it. So I loaded that puppy up. I continued to search, leaving the city. Found my way into this abandoned building and found a Sporter 22 with a magazine. And then that happened. I don't know what that was, but I think a little bit of pee left my body. Things have changed in DayZ since I last played. After that, still with a little stain in my pants, I headed north towards Zelenogorsk. But cold was a big problem for me. I was really chilly. So I chopped some trees down, made myself a little fire, sat by that fire, warmed myself up. And like any good survivor, I scoped out Zelenogorsk, because other players might be around. Is that a player? No, it's a zombie. Feeling good about myself, I wandered down into Zlenogorsk, started looting the barracks. Shots were heard. I went out to investigate. There was a lot happening. I didn't know what, but it was loud. I saw the shooter, so I took my chance. He had some juicy kit. After that, the zombies came, and I sprayed bullets wildly, clueless actually as to what I was doing. I was so out of practice. But so far so good. I resorted to my trusty Babe Ruth baseball bat. But the zombies kept coming, so I had to run. Pulled out my pistol, took a shot. Yeah, it went downhill from there. But after that, I was surprised. I came round. And to be honest, I knew that chap over on the roof had some juicy gear, and I had a bandage. Things were looking up. I was just going to bandage myself up here, go get that guy's kit, and be back in the game. I dropped my pistol on the ground, and then I learnt the lesson that everyone learns in DayZ. Always check the silhouettes. Now SCUM, of course, is clearly a different game, and I haven't played this for a long time, so let's see how this pans out. Character customization, clearly something different to DayZ. No fresh spawns on beaches here, you drop in parachuting from the sky. I thought I'd do a halo jump, because it is a PvP server, make sure no one can see me. It didn't pan out that well, as I sprained or hurt my leg when I landed. I was hobbling around wondering what to do, and then I realised, of course, you can search the ground and use the rocks to make a knife, which I did. Use the knife to cut down some trees to get some sticks, and use those sticks to make some wooden spears. I was now prepared for anything I might come across, and as I headed into town, I of course came across cornfield, and you can search these, so I started doing that. Didn't find a damn thing there, but I did come across a big juicy white mushroom. I didn't know if it was poisonous or not, but I ate it anyway. Then I headed into town and started to search the various piles and boxes around. And I came across cash. Well, that's new. As I opened this door, I came across a uniform very similar to mine. This might explain why I could not find anything of any real value anywhere, but I took the gloves anyway. It was then that I remembered that you pressed M, you actually got a map in SCUM. And then the cat turned up. After that feline interruption, I headed towards the nearby town. Came across this lovely looking river and an even more lovely bridge. I spotted some potatoes on the ground, but I wasn't sure if you could eat them, so left them be. And then a surveillance drone flew overhead, but I wasn't sure if it was mine or someone else's. I proceeded towards a nearby farm and was rudely interrupted by a very loud beast in the forest. So I decided to go ahead and just loot absolutely everything. But I found bugger all. But I did remember that you can eat bugs from fallen logs, so I ate myself some lava and a grasshopper. It was at this point I recalled that you have a metabolism tab with detailed information on your nutrients and all sorts of other things. This looks really good now. Nearby there was a factory complex, and I knew in here I would find better loot. As I worked my way towards an entry into the complex, the game crashed. So I patted the cat, went and got a coffee, and then logged back in to it being absolutely pitch black. And when I say pitch black, I couldn't see anything. But I did find my way into the complex and hid in a barn while the mechs made their first appearance. It then became a game of cat and mouse, as the mech clearly enjoyed what it was doing. I looted and hid, and this went on for quite some time. So finally I got into a bigger building and took on a puppet or a zombie in the pitch black. This was not an easy task. And here I just show you the body to prove that I did actually kill it. Now it was just too dark and too dangerous in that factory complex, so I went outside, but I began to suffer from class 1 hypothermia, so built myself a fire and sat by that fire for quite some time. When morning came around, it got all worse. It rained and I was suffering from the cold, but I didn't let that stop me. I ran out onto the airfield because there's good loot out here. Through some clever footwork, I managed to avoid the mechs and found my way into this complex. Inside the complex, I just crept around searching and finding absolutely nothing. I hid and crawled, searched some more. In absolute panic, I pressed all the wrong buttons, but did manage to avoid the mech's shots. By this stage, water and food were in dire straits, and then the biggest score of the game so far, a loaf of bread. Sat in the corner and I consumed that bread. It was going to do me some good. Beginning to get brave, I ran around a bit more. Mechs meant nothing to me by now. And I finally started to find some decent gear. But eventually a mech tagged me and I started to bleed out, and I was bleeding badly. I was impressed by the animations on the screen, but this is where it all went wrong. I could not figure out how to heal myself. My health was plummeting, I was bleeding fast. I finally figured out, right, you got to click on these, press that treat button, and then away you go. Health was plummeting, treating the wounds. This was going to be close. Health at 1%, good to go. No, I'm not. I'm dead. So I respawned and forgot how to open my parachute and began, quite simply, to plummet to my death. So one thing I can say about these two games is that they do give you a very different experience. But let's start off with SCUM. It has a very detailed and open gameplay. It really helps you out, has a very bright landscape, and it does generate fear and tension in those early hours. But DayZ has detailed but really hidden gameplay. It doesn't help you out. It has a dark, brooding landscape, and it definitely has fear and tension as well. Hey, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, get you and your Mojo back, check out my Twitter and Discord, and maybe I'll see you in the next chapter. Cheers!